Welcome to The Shoreline, brought to you by Shores and Islands, Ohio, where finding your Lake Erie love is a sure thing. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jill Bauer. I'm the PR manager at Shores and Islands, Ohio. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Dayton Barnett, who manages our social media. Hey, Dayton, how's it going?
Hello, it's going great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Dayton and I get together every week to give you guys the inside scoop on what's happening here in our island and coastal communities and the events and the attractions we think you'll want to know more about and hopefully find reasons to come hang with us. Dayton, what's going on over on social media?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We got coming up lots of things. We're kind of in the midst of everything as always, but we got Pirate Fest coming up this weekend over on Put-in Bay.
Yeah.
We got, sunset cruises with the good time, and 4th of July is right around the corner too.
I'm really looking forward to July. A lot of fun things going on in the region for sure. If you're not already, make sure you're following along with Dayton online on all of our social channels and be sure to engage with him on our posts. He loves getting those comments and questions and always looking for suggestions on places you'd like to see him go next. You can find all our social links online at shoresandislands.com. Also joining us today as a special treat, please welcome back Ben Simon, Shores and Islands, Ohio Director of Marketing and Sales. If you'll recall all the way back to episode number 1 of the podcast, Ben was with us chatting about our dreams for the show and what we were most looking forward to in 2024. And since it was, relatively new into the new year, you might remember that Ben was pretty excited about a major summer event that takes place next month here in Sandusky, the Ironman 70.3 Ohio Triathlon. So Ben, how's it going?
Hi, Jill. It's going great. Thanks for having me back on.
Oh, of course. So remind us about your Ironman relay team, how that works, and where are you in your training for that event?
Yes, Shores and Islands here has a team for the Ironman this year. The Shores and Islands Idols, we're called.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm doing the swim portion. Quinn is doing the bike, and Larry's going to wrap it up with the run.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And we'll be all down there to cheer you on for sure, and looking forward to supporting that Shores and Islands team. How's your training going?
The training is going. I'm swimming. I'm not a great swimmer, but the last few months I've been in the pool. I've been getting after it. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to actually getting in the lake here in the next couple of weeks.
That was going to be my next question if you'd had the opportunity. Lake water's probably still a little chilly.
I went down there yesterday, and it was a little too windy, chilly, and the waves were a little too big for me. We'll stick to the pool.
Yeah, stick to the pool for a while and hopefully things will calm down in the next month because we are just about 1 month away from the big race. And joining us on the podcast today as our special guest is Casey Gilvin, who is the race director. Welcome to the Shoreline, Casey.
Thank you for having us. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, of course. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, my name is Casey Gilvin. I'm been a part of working overseeing the race in the Northern Ohio area for 3 years now. We're so excited to be here. Previously, I also oversaw the race Ironman 70.3 Muncie in Indiana, and also have some history as a former race director of Ironman Louisville. I'm actually from Lexington, Kentucky, and I'm just really excited to be a part of this race here come July 21st.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you. So for those that are outside of the racing community, can you tell us the difference between the 70.3 Ironman, which is what is being hosted in Sandusky, versus a full Ironman race?
Yeah, absolutely. So a half Ironman consists of a 1.2 mile swim, a 56 mile bike ride, and a 13.1 half marathon to wrap everything up. A full distance Ironman is basically just twice that. So a 2.4 mile swim, a 112 mile bike ride, and then a 26.2 marathon at the end of the day. It's obviously a full distance is a significantly longer day and extra training, obviously, to just for a longer distance race.
Even the half event sounds daunting to me. So
yeah.
I am impressed by those that participate. And remind us again what the date is for the race here in Sandusky.
Yeah, absolutely. The race is on July 21st. And you'll see our staff and everything will start to show up. Our tractor trailers will show up earlier in the week, and you'll start to see a lot of the preparations as we set up our tents and our the area around the Jackson Street Pier, and then later in the week the marina, and then the finish line over on Columbus Avenue. So we'll be out there about a week before, kind of getting everything set up. And July 21st at 6:30 is when we're going to rock and roll and fire that horn off on the ferry to get going.
Popping in. So this is the third year for the race here in Sandusky. I believe you guys have also committed for some future races as well. Did I confirm?
Yes. Yes, we have.
Being that this is even, the third is crazy, amazing, that's around here and people love it. What was it about Sandusky and the region that made this an attractive, host location for the event?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a destination. The cool thing about Sandusky and the region is there's things to do. What we know from our athletes is they bring people with them, their family members. On average, they're going to bring a little bit under 3 people with them across, for racing 1,500, 1,600 athletes. That's a sizable, opportunity for the community and the economy to be a part of this race. But yes, I mean, it's the lakes, it's a vacation. Obviously, there's some roller coasters in close proximity, right? Which is really cool. And every time we go up there, it's like I find something new about that area. And me personally, just being from Kentucky, been exposed to a little bit of Ohio. But I'll be honest, before I'd been to Cedar Point, did not know really, all the other cool stuff. I mean, I was like, what? Ohio's got islands, right? Which is,
we love to hear it.
Yeah. And it was the first time. It's like, I've been to Ohio a million times in my life. And it's like, oh, islands. And it was, it's so cool. And it's got a nice lake vibe. Obviously, there's so many great restaurants. There's so many great local places that are unique to that region that just kind of really make this a good selling point. And then obviously our partners. We couldn't do this, with our partners, obviously with Ben's team. Obviously, the city of Sandusky plays a huge role, or other counties and townships. We're so thankful for those partners. And it's a daunting event. I mean, this is something that we know that if we're racing 1,500 athletes, there's going to be another, 6,000 people in and around the community, plus, upwards of another, 800 to 1,000 volunteer positions to support this race. There's a lot going on, and it takes I wouldn't say a small army. It takes a large army of operations and communication and working with all these different partners to make it work, because it's a destination. I mean, you're going to see people come, spend a couple days, take part in, the local amenities, the food, all the cool stuff that's in and around that region. And it's so nice to really see a community really kind of just welcome it. And year after year, I mean, like I said, this is year 3. Year 1 was amazing. Year 2 was like, wow, like they just embraced it. And obviously year 3 is going to be even more exciting. There's no doubt.
There's a lot going on, and it seems like you guys handle it very well. And it seems that everything runs smooth, at least for the most part, at least to the bystanders. It's been amazing having it around and seeing it kind of in motion. 1,500 athletes is crazy. Can you tell us a little bit about the course in particular? What should participating athletes, expect? I know there's some cool aspects too, especially with the start that you'll probably touch on. But is there anything that athletes should expect with the course?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start with the swim start. So obviously being right there at the Jackson Street Pier, one of the very first things when we started looking at Sandusky, we'd identified, we'd been in and around the area trying to identify, obviously, where are we going to start the race and how we're going to start the race, right? With how we're going to get in the water. You'll see, with the swim finish, we have a dock system that kind of we float in. Basically, it's an easy dock system that the athletes can run up a ramp and then go from there into the transition area. But one of the challenges is, hey, well, where's the beach? Where can our athletes just kind of walk in? And we were actually, this is no joke, we were working with a couple of our local groups, James Kennedy Jimmer down at the marina, and then Donnie Huntley, who's with Kelly's Island. They're like, one nonchalant, off the wall conversation. Hey, what if we just brought a ferry boat in there and then we started off the ferry boat? And it was like, that's brilliant, right? That was brilliant. And it was not Ironman. It was Donnie and Jimmer. And they're like, yeah, I think we could do that. That sounds great. And so, you have this thing that's kind of forming as this iconic swim start, right? It's unique to our portfolio. Nobody does anything like it. And that's really cool. And then, going from there, the swim, it's a protected area of the swim, compared to, if we're over, into Lake Erie proper, it's a little bit different. So, and then on the bike course, it's a flat bike course. It's a fast bike course. And from there, Our run, I mean, it's a 2-loop course. You are going to have a ton of interaction amongst fans and spectators and family members rooting you on and really, helping you get to that finish line, because everybody's racing for something, whether it be if they're training or if they're racing in honor of somebody. And hey, at the end of the day, it's tough, right? I mean, there's some athletes that are going almost 8 hours and 30 minutes, and that's a big commitment, right? And seeing, and that help, and then seeing, people on the streets playing music, throwing sprinklers, that motivates you and just keeps you going a little bit more, right? And that's so cool. And, you're going to have a great opportunity with a bunch of aid stations that are going to be out on the course, and they're staffed with a lot of local groups and nonprofit groups and other groups. And they kind of put their own little twist on each area, but it's a fast course. Bike course is fast. Run course is fast. The swim is going to be a naturally protected, because it's not, we don't have a lot of the waves that we would see in somewhere else with an event, but it's a great first timer race. And we do see that our numbers show that it's a race that people come to and start, as their first entrance into this half Ironman race.
Well, speaking of that, so you mentioned there's, roughly 1,500 athletes, and a lot of them are doing their first race here. Mm-hmm. Where do these people come from? Where are the athletes that are participating? Are they primarily from the Midwest, or are they coming from all over the country or the world?
Everywhere. I mean, obviously we'll get a lot that are in driving distance, that are regionally. We'll pull from, 3-4 hours away. We haven't looked, I'll be honest, I haven't looked at the registration metrics yet to see what other countries that people have come from. But I think last year we had some people from South America that had come. We had some people, from other countries. We had Canadians, and that's fairly, that's normal, right? And the cool thing is these people are coming to this region, right, to experience the region, and they're going to stay for 5, 6, 7 days and have a blast and see all the cool stuff that's up in this area. But yeah, they're from all over. We'll have a lot of locals, and I think that's the cool thing about some of the Midwest races is that you have a good mix of groups that are within driving distance, and then you also have people from across the world, because in the end, a lot of these individuals, while some of them it is their first time, a lot of them are racing for a world championship slot.
Oh, explain that. So they can go on to another competition from here? Yeah.
So depending upon how they finish, if they finish, in their, at the top of their age group, they can then get a slot to then take part in the world championship at a later time. So it's kind of a roll down process. So say, for instance, if you're the first in your age group, you have that opportunity to say, I want to go race in the world championship. Or if you say no, it kind of rolls down. And so that's something that's really cool. On Sunday during the awards ceremony, we'll do the roll down right after, and you'll see all types of excitement, because again, a lot of people are it's their first time. They're pumped to do it. And then also too, you'll see people that are competing to try to go to the world championship, and they punch their ticket to go, which is really cool. And there's a lot of excitement that comes with that.
That is really exciting. And you mentioned the people coming in. If they're coming from a long distance, they're likely coming in for probably the whole week. They want to see the course and try the course out. That's always one of my favorite things, is the week leading up to it, watching all the athletes in the area, just kind of checking it out and going on the bike ride, because the courses are published and they can see, where probably the only thing they can't do is the swim. I think that's only available the day of, or is there a practice swim?
There is no practice swim. We asked, there's some alternative places where if athletes want to acclimate to the water, we'll ask them during our race briefings, hey, where to go. But yeah, there will be no practice swim, but there will be tons of people out on the bikes, reconning it, on their bikes, or also driving the course, race week. And you'll see the same thing during the run course too. And there's people that have all the GPS metrics, all the analytical data in regards to, the elevation changes, slight elevation changes on the bike. There's not much. But they'll have all that published, and there's videos of it all, because, it's a big deal. People have been training for this event for a very long time, and, they want to ensure that they're 100% prepared for this, and to, when they finish, they have everything there to do their very best.
That's awesome. So talk a little bit about what Ironman has available for the spectators that are coming. Like talk about IRONMAN Village at Jackson Street Pier. What can people see there?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Jackson Street Pier is kind of like one of our main hubs for the event. We'll have our big merchandise area that we'll have the opportunity to purchase a wide range of Ironman apparel, race specific stuff for this for Ohio's race. And then we'll have our vendors that are some of our partners for Ironman that kind of travel around, that kind of have products that are very similar to, or I guess the support, like, triathletes, in the merchandise area, obviously, there's gear, but there's also the recovery boots. Everybody wants to jump in, put the recovery boots on for compression and whatnot, which is kind of cool. Everybody kind of wants to play with those. And then obviously, in the vendor area, there's a wide range, right? And then it's an opportunity for people. We have a bike store there, for people to work out, to have their bikes worked on, tweaked, or that, hey, if an athlete forgot something, how to, bike tubes or something like that, how to purchase that. Cause that's an important aspect, for the race to have all your equipment. But yeah, it's a great time. We'll have, we'll be working with the city. They'll have some food truck vendors down there. I believe there's a concert leading up to the event. It's not a part of our event, but a couple days before the event, there's a concert. They'll be setting some things up, and then we'll be kind of building out our footprint, I guess, on the pier and whatnot. So, we're excited to be down. The Pier is an amazing venue, and having the cool thing, and I forgot to mention this earlier, that makes us so cool is everything's so close. Like literally, as spectators, you can go from, the finish line to the swim start to the transition area at the marina. It's like a half a mile walk. Like, you don't really see that. Like, I'm also the race director for Ironman 70.3 Louisville. And, there's a big gap between the swim start, swim finish and the race finish. And so having this all close together is very unique. And the cool thing is there's so much to do inside that area. There's restaurants, there's places to hang out in, while your athlete is out on the bike. You can go get coffee. You can go eat. You can go get one of the best waffles I've ever had over there at the Wake Up and Waffle.
Wake Up and Waffle.
Yeah. But that's the cool thing about Sandusky and the region is there's so many great places that tell the story very well. And I hope the athletes and all the spectators that come, they take part in that, because it never ceases to amaze me. There's something new that we always find every time we go up there.
I will also add to that, as far as the local community and support goes, we also are still working on and putting together the I Am Local program, and that will all be available, I believe, on your website and on our website. But kind of those businesses that are catering to the event, they're going to open up extra early, right? Because you did say it was a 6:30 a.m. start. So, you watch your athlete go into the water at 6:30 a.m. and then you may not see them again for several hours. There will be businesses that will be open and it will cater you earlier in the morning. And then there will be businesses that are open all day long and things that you can do. Of course, Shores and Islands, Ohio, we're right downtown as well. So we can help people find all the fun things to do in the area as well.
So is it too late for people to register?
No, it's not. You can still register. This is no joke. This is funny. Last year we were actually down at the pier during registration. So registration will happen Friday and Saturday leading up to the race on the 21st on Sunday. And last year we had a gentleman who came down from, he worked at one of the restaurants, and he's like, how do I register? And we're like, well, most people register early, but we have on-site registration. He's like, well, a bunch of my employee friends have taken up a collection and they want me to race. And I'm like, did you train? And he's like, no, but I'll be good. I'm like, all right, cool. Check. Got it. So he registered, but yeah, there's still slots that are open to be able to register. Yeah. So it's, depending upon, obviously there'll be some opportunity, obviously between now and we got a month out. So, you got plenty of time. You got a little bit of time to train, to get going. But yeah, but there's still opportunities to register, to hop in the event and, take part in the third year of this great event.
All online, I'm assuming, on the website for, this year and next year.
Yeah. So what we'll do is for this year's race is open for registration. And then we will shortly thereafter, after the race of this year's race, open up the race for 2025.
Awesome. There's also a relay option. Like Ben mentioned, the team that he's on. How does that work?
Yeah. So how the relay works, you'll have, one of the three athletes will do the swim course or the swim. And then from there, they'll transition their timing chip to the cyclist. And then they'll ride their 56 miles through, Erie and, Sandusky counties. And then they'll come back in, grab the chip, give it to their athlete, that's running, and then they'll run, through downtown Sandusky and then finish. So, relay teams, highly sought after. I mean, people love to do this because it's a great entrance to say, hey, I can't swim. And so who can swim? somebody else, I find a friend that can swim, and and Shores and Islands been swimming, right? So, he's rocking and rolling. And then you find a cyclist. And then if you find a runner, and it's a great way to get engaged into, the sport, the distance, which is really cool because it's a very empowering sport. It's something that, it never ceases to amaze me how you're motivated and you're to really, this is every individual's like, one of their crowning achievements, right? And it's a great day. And there's always smiles, right? And, the full distance Ironman, we don't do relays. So this is what's unique about a 70.3 is the relay option. So it's really cool.
That is really cool. So what about volunteers? Are you still looking for local people or maybe family that's along with the athlete who want things to do? Where can they find out about volunteer opportunities and what kind of things are there for them to do?
Yeah, perfect. So yes, we are still working with our volunteer director to find a couple, some groups. We have a couple bike aid stations that are still available, and then a run aid station and a couple other key areas that we're looking for, like big groups to be able to support. So what the Ironman Foundation does, it's obviously our foundation wing of Ironman, is that part of our volunteerism is that we provide grants for nonprofits and groups that support the event. So, we have a number of groups that are taking part this year that are a nonprofit, say a high school soccer team or a church group or anything in between, and they'll work an aid station or they'll help with swim start, or they're out on the kayaks for the swim, a wide range. So the easiest place to go to find registration opportunities is to go to our Ironman website, and then from there there's a volunteer link. You can click on that, and then it'll take you to the volunteer page. Literally, there's about 40 different areas that we look for volunteer groups, but we also look for individuals too. Like you talked a little bit about spectators of athletes or something. We see a lot of people that say come in, drive in from Chicago that are with their athlete, and hey, I want to be a part of the race. I want to help because if it wasn't for the volunteers, we couldn't do this. And they'll go volunteer for, say, like Finish Line, or they'll help out, or hey, they'll help out with the transition area with bike check-in or check-out or whatnot. So we have a lot of opportunities, not just for groups of say 10, 12, 30, 40, but also individuals, right? There's also a general volunteer, sign up for, hey, I don't know what I want to do race day, but I'm going to sign up as a general volunteer, and then we'll reach out to you, and we'll figure out how we can put you into the event and help out, which is really cool. They'll get some some swag as a t-shirt. We're going to feed the volunteers, which is cool. And then you really the cool thing about it is that you get the opportunity to be really close to the event, right? I mean, like obviously the finish line is so cool. You're in the finish line shoot, you're putting medals on people. They've been working so hard all day to finish this race. And, that there's a lot of excitement there. And then being out on, like, say, the kayaks and seeing, and helping people, find their way in the water, or helping people in the aid station. And you will find that athletes are so thankful for the support of the volunteers, not just the volunteers, but the community to put this event on, because again, we couldn't do this without the volunteers, right? They're really the face of the event, and they're that personal, nobody sees the race director, right? We're the ones putting out all the fires and making sure everything works, but you see the volunteers, right? And so that experience matters. And, the volunteers, Crystal's our volunteer director, and she's doing a great job. She's been with us since the start, up in Ohio, and, seeing the groups come year over year, which is awesome. And, but like I said, we still have some spots. We have some spots in Sandusky County still for some 2 aid stations out there. And then we have, like I said, I think there's 1 run aid station, in the city and whatnot. And that's one way to get word out. And then there's also I always screw up the email here, so I want to make sure I got the right email. There's an Ohio Volunteers email, and that is IM70.3Ohio at IRONMAN-volunteers.com. And that goes directly to Crystal and say, hey, I'm interested, into being a volunteer or a group. And then also on our registration, on our Ironman page, there's a link to go to our volunteer registration portal, and you can see all the jobs that we have. And we got a wide range of jobs and different times, not even just race day. We have some stuff earlier in the week to support the event, from packet stuffing to, we had a football team last year that helped us pack sandbags, right? Because, we have to, it gets a little windy around the lake, right? So we got to put sandbags on on some of the barricades and stuff. So there's a wide range of wide opportunities, obviously, to support the race. And then, we have a huge opportunity to be able to give back to the community, through our volunteerism grants.
Lots of information, lots going on. Awesome to see. And yes, the volunteer basis is amazing in the work that everybody's doing. You just gave us a little bit of one. So you gave us a contact and information for volunteering, for general information and everything, Ironman series. Where can people go to find that?
Yeah. So if you, the very easiest way for everything that Ironman is our direct website. www.ironman.com. And then you'll be able to see our entire race series, our events from our full distance to our half distance races. There's opportunities to see some of the, to get an idea of like kind of support for like training programs, and other resources. One of the things I will say that also is great, not just for the athlete, but for the volunteer, for the spectator, is to download our Ironman app, especially race day, because you're going to get a whole slew of information supporting the specific Ohio event, be able to track athletes with anticipated finish times, and there's any announcements that pop up, right, with anything that comes up race day, because there's always something that comes up. But the website and then for sure the downloading the app are two huge resources for everyone involved.
That's great information. Thank you, Casey. Is there anything else that you wanted to share in regards to the Ironman 70.3 Ohio?
Hey, we're excited to be here. This is, of the races that I have supported, and been a part of, either as being once as a volunteer to an operations, kind of a captain, to a race director, to a participant. The greatest thing about this race is the community support, right? I mean, it is mind blowing, how the region and the area has really embraced the event. And really what happens is they're making that moment for the athlete, right? And that's, that's such a cool thing, because it is a destination. There's so many great cool things there, and it's so fun. And I think that of all the races, this is by far my most enjoyable one. And it really comes down to the community, and to our partners and the support that they have helped with this event. And this race feels like it's been going on for 15 years. I mean, it really does. And we're in year 3, and that 100% credit goes to the community, our partners, and just the willingness to say, hey, we're going to figure this out, and we're going to make this one of the best events around.
That is really great to hear. And on that note, it's a good time to bring Ben back into the conversation. Ben, what is it like working with the Ironman organization and all of the different groups involved? Like, who else involved in bringing this to the area?
There is, like Casey said, there's a lot of people involved in this. And, this is my first year working with the group with Shores and Islands. And I can't say it's been easy. It's been a really pleasure working with the group, Good. Casey and his group. And, with the partnership with the city in Sandusky, it all comes together. Everyone's pouring their effort into this, and it shows. I mean, we've agreed to 3 more years for this race coming to the area with an option of 2 more after that. So
awesome.
It's well liked by Ironman. It's well liked by the city, and it's supported throughout, and it really shows.
Yeah, and we really try to get the support out there in the community as well. We have both Lake Erie Love and Shores and Islands Ohio flags that we make available to people along the race route, so that they can see as they're riding their bikes or running through the Sandusky race course just how much support is out there, from the destination, from the region. And we encourage people to go out, like Casey mentioned, go out in your front yard and cheer for them, and put your sprinklers on, and all of those kinds of things that just really help the athletes feel encouraged and welcome, and all of that. Ben, is there anything else that you wanted to add about the race?
No, just that I hope it gets here soon, and I want it to be over.
Yeah.
I want the swim to be there and gone and move on, and let's cheer everyone else on. Yeah.
I love it.
But thank you to you and everyone here, and thanks to Casey very much.
Oh, great. So on that note, welcome to all the athletes and to their support teams that are visiting Shores and Islands, Ohio next month. And good luck to the racers. Special thanks to Ben from Shores and Islands, Ohio, and Casey Gilvin from the Ironman Group for joining us today. And of course, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a minute of the action here in Shores and Islands, Ohio. You can find more information, including past episodes of this podcast, online at shoresandislands.com. We'll see you next time on The Shoreline.